Day above ground livid. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Thursday. It's almost the weekend. Some of y'all getting paid this weekend. Have fun with it. All right. That's probably the best Wednesday I've ever had. Over 200,000 views in a day. Fire. Thank you to everyone that participated, even you damn trolls. And thank y'all for watching that late night upload I did about Carl M. Swain. But today we got to talk about this. It seems like the Charlie Kirk algorithm is what it is. Now, I said I wasn't going to do anything else on it last week, but I found this interesting. Now, this came out, I believe, on Tuesday. And your boy Amazing Lucas, boy, he had one shot. He was like Eminem in 8 Mile. He had one shot. We'll see if he made it. Now, Piers does his, his nice little panels. So he had Amazing Lucas, Brian Shapiro, the white boy that was giving Tatum Toss the business, Jillian Michaels, and Riley Gaines. To say it went off the rails, it was crazy. That's an understatement. Now, I'm going to warn y'all now, there's a lot of yelling, so there's going to be points where you're not going to understand what people are saying. Hopefully, I can help you translate what they said. But unfortunately, we have to start off with this. Yesterday, there was another shooting. An Illinois state senator, someone threw bullets in her house. She's fine, from what I saw. So, they out here, they wilding. With this clip here, though, this video, unfortunately, we got to start off with somebody that we don't like. They started off the show. I guess that's their appetizer. I think we're going to send this back to the kitchen, but we're also going to have fun with it. So let's get into it. If you got something to eat, go get that. If you don't have nothing to eat, Uber Eats is great. Let's begin.
Words anyone's using right now. It's 1 week since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. His alleged killer, Tyler Robinson, had no reaction as he learned he could now face the firing squad.
For the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty.
The prosecutors have released chilling text messages which appear to show that Robinson confessed to the murder to his transgender roommate and boyfriend. I had enough of his hatred, Robinson said. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Everything we know about Robinson so far, from his family's evidence to the messages scrawled on bullets, point to a screamingly obvious motive. But with each new revelation, many legacy media pundits have sought to minimize their relevance.
Make sure you hit the like.
The tone and tenor of the radicalization of our country right now. We've seen time and time again over the last year how people of the trans community have been blamed for a whole host of things. And so I think that putting that out there, and if you look online like I do, you see a lot of people picking that up on the far right. They're looking to demonize and blame trans people. It's not helpful.
Just to be clear, just law enforcement people, I don't think we know the meaning of his message. We know his history.
Not a child, an anti-fascist thing. It says fascist, catch this.
Then I'll give you his history, right? Think about his history. His history, but this is not the
Why are you debating it?
This is what I wanted to tell you. This was my point, not yours. This was my point, not yours. The point is, who cares?
A kid was probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot.
You think he heard it? He could hear it.
I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally.
What? The hypocrisy is astounding. For what it's worth, I don't think tying these tragedies to party politics is particularly helpful. The common theme is deeply disturbed people who spend too much time on the dark corners of the internet and have no purpose in life. But if a liberal star had been gunned down by a Christian family values assassin from the right, how many of these people would now be yelling, who cares? And didn't President Biden hold a national address to say MAGA Republicans are the nation's greatest danger? If you care about motives, it works both ways. And on the subject of dishonesty and hypocrisy, the Attorney General Pam Bondi is facing a bipartisan backlash for saying this.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech.
And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Hate speech is covered by the First Amendment, though, ma'am. God damn. This is y'all's attorney general. Okay.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything, and that's across the aisle.
There is no First Amendment. Why am I telling this to the American Attorney General? There is no First Amendment exception for hate speech, as many guests have reminded me on the show since we launched. You can and should be repulsed by the people mocking Charlie Kirk and his grieving family. But the organised witch hunt, searching for reasons to hound them out of their jobs, feels a little bit too close to the cancel culture that the right, quite rightly, have always tried to resist. Let's not forget that Charlie Kirk died fighting that kind of culture. Well, joining me now is the host of the Megyn Kelly show, Megyn Kelly. Megyn, great to have you on our show. So I just want to start by saying how sorry I am to you.
And I'm sorry to the audience. We got to play this woman's face this early in the morning. I apologize.
Personal level for the loss of Charlie Kirk, because I watched you on the day it happened. I saw how emotional you were. I saw how much this had personally affected you, and it really moved me. And so, just on a human level, I'm really sorry for you and your loss at losing your friend. Just turning to the reaction, though, so many parts of this really concern me. Obviously, the killing itself, horrific, that someone should be shot dead for their opinions. The way that so many on the woke left, young people, so gleefully race to celebrate this on social media, joyously celebrating and reveling in this brutal murder of a young father. And then to watch the very liberal skewed mainstream media, you and I talked about this a lot, but look at the tortured ways they are trying so hard to avoid saying the obvious about this shooter and trying to find something, anything, to excuse what he did. All of it is grotesque.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for that, Piers. It was a devastating day, and unlike anything I've ever experienced or want to experience again. You know, Charlie and I weren't the kind of friends who were meeting for dinner, but I'd had him on my show over 15 times in the past year and a half.
Ma'am, you saw them towers drop. The fuck is you talking about? You literally watched 2,977 people lose their lives in a span of 30 seconds. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. All right.
I'd had him on tons of times. I've been on his show tons of times. We did a bunch of Turning Point events together, and I spoke with him many times backstage, and so I felt like I knew him as a friend and knew what he stood for. Not to mention all the countless hours I've seen him on these college campuses and all the prep you do when somebody's coming on your show. So I do feel like I knew who he was. I really do. And he was total goodness. I mean, he was truly a warrior. The picture that's being painted of him by...
Total goodness, she says. Total goodness. Okay. All right. Total goodness, you say. So, okay. I'm guessing this was one of his aunts, right? I'm guessing this was his grandmother, right? Yeah. Total goodness, huh? Yeah. Total goodness, she said. Charlie Goodness. Was he one of the Furies? Let me know. All right. Go ahead, Megyn. You got more.
His detractors now bears no resemblance whatsoever to the man I knew. And they didn't. Because I see the few who will bother to offer evidence of their views that he was this terrible guy, a racist, what have you. It's helpful. I appreciate when they say why they thought that. Because I'm familiar with almost all of the incidents that they used to batter Charlie, and they're fake. It's fake news. Charlie was honestly the most optimistic person in our movement. I mean, I was saying to Tucker last night, I say it to you too, I think the rest of us are way more cynical mofos than Charlie ever was. You know, we've been in the business.
Well, I'm glad you admitted it. You racist, you. Not the part that Charlie was probably the best among you, because he was one of the worst. But I'm glad you admit that you are an unapologetic racist. Miss Shut Up and Dribble. We saw how you crashed out when you found out the Eagles were possibly not going to the White House. Tell me how, I was a fan because of my husband, not no more. Oh, So you're trying to cancel a team because they didn't want to go see the president. Okay. All right. You got it.
It's a long time. We're pretty cynical. That's what happens to you when you're a news person. Charlie wasn't a news person. He was like a prophet in some ways, who was speaking the good word while using those biblical principles to try to persuade people over to his political worldview. And it gave him like an optimism and a happiness and a joy and a benevolent kind.
Somebody asked where I got racist out of that. Do you mean the same woman who sat up there and made fun of George Floyd dying? Yeah, you're right. We're not supposed to do that. Oh, okay. Same woman who told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Megyn Kelly's not a racist. You're right.
In dealing with these kids on college campuses that, frankly, the rest of us have probably lost a long time ago. At least I certainly have. And that leads me to my point in response to your
Stan, man, how is she not the same lady?
I don't
She's
believe in any reform in these people.
She echoed the same sentiment, man. She said the same thing. I know it was Laura Ingraham that said it. She said the same thing. So what are you talking about?
Well, I don't believe there's any shaming these people.
Oh, boy. I tell you, they dumb.
Improve things with these people. I think these people need to be defeated, and we need to move on from them. You know, I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but the answer, as far as I can see, is to grow our own ranks. That's it. We have to
grow our own
ranks. We have
ranks.
to answer their voices with our own. We have to grow more conservatives and independents who are sane and would never back political violence. There's so many people I detest on the left. I mean, it's a long list. Who's...
I love how she said she detests the left, but then tried to run the NBC. Oh, so, okay. Well, this was before this happened. I want to see if Megyn Kelly's going to call out ABC. I'm sorry, not ABC, Sinclair Broadcasting for trying to extort Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's name, trying to extort it through Jimmy Kimmel. Talking about he needs to give a sizable donation to Turning Point USA. I wonder if you're going to call that out, or you're going to say that should be right. I want to see if she's going to do it. We know what the answer is, but we're going to let this continue. By the way, she's boring. I'm trying here. She's not saying anything of note.
Death, I would never dream of celebrating. Never. There's only one right response when somebody gets assassinated or murdered, and it's, my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so...
I'm curious, though. You heard what she said. I'm curious. I want to see something. I wonder what she said about George Floyd. So she said, my God, I'm sorry. I want to see what she said. I want to see that timeline one time. What's this? Oh. Okay. I saw that. I don't see her saying anything about saying sorry to George Floyd. Maybe we'll put this in. Let's see. Well, ask the AI too, because we're in the AI age. Let's see. Oh, she did a whole 10-minute retrospective on the 5 years since George Floyd's deletion. Oh. All she did was talk about the narratives. Okay.
So sorry for their family and their friends. What is the world coming to? And so there's no convincing them they've made an error or that we should all get along and they shouldn't celebrate our deaths. We just have to keep saying all the things.
Nick, I didn't bring it up. No, this has nothing to do with George Floyd. Why did she bring it up? She's ever since Charlie's died, she brought up George Floyd at least 3 times. Why? That's why I searched it. I wanted to see if she actually apologized and said, you know what, him dying was wrong. No. Never did it.
That we've been saying, and say it louder and more compellingly and do it from fortified spaces so that we cannot be hurt while doing it.
Yeah, even as we
Right, Maddie, right. Yet the autopsies, both of them proved that he died from asphyxiation, but y'all still on that drugs. Interesting. By the way, if it was just the drugs, why would Chauvin apologize for killing him during his federal civil rights trial? If he was innocent, I'm just saying. He didn't have to say a word.
were still poring over the horrific fallout from Charlie's murder, you saw the scenes outside the courtroom for Luigi Mangione, right? For some bizarre reason.
We already read it, Scooby Fish. Y'all are allergic to first pages.
No, a health executive, and assassinated him in cold blood. For some reason,
these motherfuckers are wearing Luigi hats. This is wild. Megyn Kelly is boring blood. I gotta go. Let's get to the show. Y'all ain't come here to see her. Y'all came here to see this hair. Let's get after it. Damn. All right, here we go.
898. Well, joining me on the panel to discuss all this is Riley Gaines, the host of Games for Girls on Outkick.com, Jillian Michaels, host of Keeping It Real, Brian Shapiro, host of Pushing the Limits, and Lucas Bain, better known as the amazing Lucas. Okay, well, welcome to all of you. Brian Shapiro.
Lucas already got that look like he finna troll everybody. Let's get it. We're gonna back it out a little bit. I wanna make sure everybody see everybody. Oh, it's not gonna work like that, say less. Let's go.
I was sickened by what happened to Charlie Kirk.
There we go.
We all agree. I hope we can all agree. It was sickening, although I had Destiny on the other night who couldn't bring himself to condemn it because Donald Trump hadn't said the right thing for him, which I think is a lamentable piece of moral cowardice. So let me just start by asking you, I presume you condemn...
No, he said amazing Lucas.
...by what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Absolutely. I was on the air, Piers, when it all happened. I got emotional. The first thing I thought about were his kids and his family. This is not only bad for Charlie Kirk, obviously, and bad for his family. It's bad for America. And I also feel for everybody that was...
Scooby Fish, one last time. There's no leftist here now. If you're going to play that game, you can go to somebody else. I literally shitted on the left yesterday. What leftist you know does that? Last time.
Traumatized that was there that day that had to see that. Now, with that being said, of course,
I'm independent.
I agree with basically anything that Charlie Kirk stands
Charlie
for.
Cook, get some.
Said, anybody that's celebrating his death, I think that's despicable and it's disgusting. And I've called that out, and I've been very consistent on my opinions since day one. If there's one thing that me and Charlie Kirk certainly agreed on, it's civil discourse and having political debate. I enjoy doing this show, Piers, and I enjoy having respectful discussions with people that I disagree with. So this is a horrible, horrible situation. We could never condone political violence, no matter what side of the aisle it comes.
By the way, Lucas's chair is pissing me off. I need him to go get a gaming chair. That chair is terrible for TV.
Why have so many people on the far left, the woke left, been so brazen in their gleeful celebration of what happened to Charlie Kirk?
Well, my response to that, number one, is I'm not on the far left, so I certainly don't speak for them, but there's people on both sides of the aisle. I know Republicans don't want to hear that, but there are crazy lunatics on both sides of the aisle that celebrate really horrible things that happen to people in America. I don't agree with them. And if you're on the far left or the far right and you celebrate anybody getting murdered, then there's something wrong with you. And I don't feel bad for any of those people that were fired for celebrating his death. I think it's disgusting. Now, if you're just talking about him and saying, well, he wasn't a good guy, here's why I didn't like him, here are some of his quotes that he said in the past, I don't think you should be fired for that. I think there's a way to call out political violence and say Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this. I feel for his family, but I didn't like Charlie Kirk and I didn't like what he stood for. I think you could make both points respectfully.
Thorson, that's the problem. Y'all pick a side and then y'all don't stand on it. And I find it funny that y'all get pissed off at independents, but y'all's politicians are the ones coming to us. They not going to y'all because they think y'all are already slaves to them. Y'all will learn this next midterms. You're going to have to learn this lesson again. But okay. We're going to continue. We're not talking about politics so much today. We're going to talk about this Charlie Kirk.
Okay, Lucas Bean, I've been pointed out to me that you've posted some
look at his face
messages about Charlie Kirk on your Instagram, which we're going to show here. One is a post that's a parody of a Jubilee debate. I'm doing one of these myself.
Oh, we finally got one. Dan X, you got to go. because nobody said anything about Trump yet. But go ahead. That's crazy. That's crazy. Lucas, you out of line. I didn't even see this. That's crazy. Jubilee finna sue him. Woo. Jubilee gonna sue your ass for that. That's crazy that you did that. Woo.
Titled Charlie Kirk versus
Damn.
Can one bullet to the neck outsmart one conservative? Well, that was a short watch. Number 2 is a mocked-up promotion poster called Kirk and Twerk.
Well, first off, Piers, he didn't make this. I saw this on somebody else's thing. That's crazy. That's some wrestling account on X did this. That's shit. The internet is so unforgiving, bro.
Of the woods and hashtag both Charlie Kirk and his widow. And the third was an image of a sunrise titled God Works in Mysterious Ways.
Bruh.
Charlie Kirk killing and praying hands.
And he laughing. Yo, oh my God. Lucas is a troll, bro. He sat there, he laughing. Oh, he out of line, bro. They go, man. He lucky he independent, boy. They would have went straight to his job. That's crazy.
An emoji. And you're
He's still laughing.
Show these. Why do you find this funny?
Well, let me just say that I actually am a big advocate for dark humor. And I happen to gotten a bit of a taste of that over the last, I don't know, maybe decade or so when it came to the right. And their memes of George Floyd, happy birthday being sober for 5 years. When it came to their memes of Breonna Taylor. When it came to their memes of Trayvon Martin, the Trayvon Challenge, right? When it came to their memes of Tamir Rice. So I don't know what the issue is. I think I'm engaging in the freedom of speech that the right has been advocating for.
The informing media, Tatum Tots knows better. Lucas already dropped receipts on him and showed how he was a fraud. He knows better. But hey, start that war again. That'll be great content. Go ahead.
For these last 10 years and mocking and making light of Black Death, something that Charlie Kirk himself did time and time again. As a matter of fact, I would argue that if Charlie Kirk, instead of focusing his time on Black culture and Black on Black crime, if he had spent a modicum of his time focusing on the white youth, that perhaps he would still be with us today.
Damn. Everybody on the panel got upset. Everybody on the panel got upset. Woo. Woo. I told you it was about to go off the rails. One of them train wheels just jumped the track. We about to have a derailment very soon. No, Charles K., you missed his point. He was talking about if Charlie Kirk is going to sit up there all the time talking about Black on Black crime, why didn't he focus on the white youth? Which includes their crime numbers. Why didn't he elevate white youth? Why didn't he go around the country to these white areas and especially the poorer ones and get them youth up out of that? That's what he's saying. But we know what the answer is. You guys wouldn't have listened to him. You would have said he was betraying y'all. He was exposing dirty laundry from the white community that should not have been exposed. Plus, there's no money in it to talk about white on white crime. There's no money.
Are you pleased he's dead?
No, absolutely not.
How did you feel about
But
his murder?
I don't think.
How did
I
you
don't
feel
think
about
I
his
can say
murder?
this. How do I feel about his murder?
Yeah.
Well, I think A quote by a great author sums up the sentiment of millions of Americans around the world.
Here we go.
And that is, some cause happiness wherever they go, others when they go. And I think that's a sentiment that is palpable amongst many.
Some cause happiness where they go, others when they go. Jesus. No, he didn't. Charles K. You didn't listen. He never talked about white on white crime. Go get us a link where he talked about white on white crime. Go ahead. And he didn't include the left. He included everybody. Go get me that clip one time. Please.
Many Americans around the world due to the hate and vitriol and bile that Charlie Kirk sowed.
So
I think there was a
just to be clear, unless I misheard you, then you are happy he died.
No, I don't think as far as happiness is an emotion that
Good, Charles K. Tell us what he said about white on white crime since you went to Penn State University and heard him talk. Tell us what he said about white on white crime. Go ahead.
You literally just read me a quote which implies you're happy. You talked about some people's death bring happiness.
The purpose of the quote was to say that there are some people who have caused harm and death and turmoil to other groups of people, such as Charlie Kirk, whether it's black people, whether it's, trans people.
No, I heard the quote. But just to be clear, you said that the quote ends in that their death brings happiness, but you've denied that you were happy. But when you tell me a quote like that, I presume from that quote you're implying that actually you are happy he died because he deserved it. He had it coming.
No, not at all. I don't think those are ever words that I've ever mentioned verbatim ever. I think there is a sentiment that when someone who lives their life in evil and wickedness, according to the scripture,
Somebody said white on white crime is non-existent. I tell you, they dumb.
The hate and the vile and the venom that he spewed.
He said what? Somebody said white on white crime is non-existent. What happened to Charlie Kirk, sir? Who did that? Who did the Minnesota shooting? Who did that? What about that North Carolina Republican that tried to spike his granddaughter's ice cream with coke and ecstasy? That just happened 3 weeks ago. Melissa Hortman, anybody? Fuck is you talking about? What do you mean white on white crime is virtually non-existent? Damn. That's crazy. All right, go ahead.
I don't know what to tell you. As the scripture says, as he professed, you live by the sword.
Here we go with per capita. Per capita. Okay, fine. You want to play per capita? Per capita, you guys are the biggest rapists in the country. You want to play with me on that? You guys molest the most. You want to play with me on that? Your white teachers molest the most students per capita. You want to play with me on that? I don't think you do.
Then on a community that, clearly is in problem. I find it interesting that there's more scrutiny on people who may make memes that they've done of George Floyd and other black victims than on the white male youth that did this.
Now, James, that's a damn lie. Your government is the biggest drug dealers in the country. Oops. But again, y'all won't touch the government because they're predominantly white. They're giving money to them cartels to bring the stuff over here. But y'all cool with that. Got it.
All the time, if they're the same ones that you're talking about, why would you profess to be offended by those if you're quite happy to do the same kind of thing yourself?
I think the point that I'm making by the means that I'm putting out, which clearly has caused outrage and triggering, I find it a bit...
Thorson, you literally ignore numbers because you're going by 2019 and we're 2025, and they've updated those numbers 4 times since. Thank you so much.
Critical that the people for years who said fuck your feelings are now overwhelmed with feelings at the moment. But the point that I was making was to point out the hypocrisy that the right has on a variety and myriad of issues, as we just saw with Pam Bondi on the freedom of speech. I think the issue is that they have scapegoated people like Pam Bondi for what is the crime of Donald Trump. The same thing they did with Anthony
The
Fauci.
crime numbers, see? Thank you, Thorson. Now you get to go. You just proved to us that you don't know what the hell's going on in this country. It's called the FBI numbers, the same ones that y'all love to quote from 2019. They updated them 4 times. I need y'all to come into reality. I get it. The 2019 numbers, y'all got hard-ons off of it. Yeah, those numbers went down. Oops. I get it. Thank you.
They had bump stock ban. They had a bump stock ban under Donald Trump. While
Facts.
they were fear-mongering about Biden taking away your guns. But as we saw, there was no outrage. There was no protest, and we come to find out it was unconstitutional. So I think this hypocrisy is ubiquitous.
Well, Lucas, you're kind of wrong there because some conservatives, they got pissed off at him for that bump stock ban. They did get mad. The two-way folk. The two-way folk got mad.
Within the right, and I think my memes expose that hypocrisy.
And what about your own personal humanity? I mean, hashtagging his widow in a mocked-up promotion poster of Kirk and Twerk at Neck of the Woods.
Wow.
How do you justify targeting? Hang on. How do you justify targeting his widow?
I think that's a bit disingenuous to use such hyperbolic language as targeting. I think it's more of a strategic plan of attack to get the message out to more people. When we saw Erica Kirk, she had a moment to speak for unity within the country, left and right, and she chose to fundraise. She then chose to use the scripture and talk, very nicely of her, past husband. And I understand that. But by that same token, there are people who are absolutely harmed by the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk put out, and that rhetoric actually codified.
I love how people on the right didn't get upset that they used her collectively, I should say. The collective right did not get mad that they put out a video of her over his casket crying. Like, why would you do that? Because we know damn well they would never have allowed that in their own family. They never would have done that. But they're going to allow that? Nah. That was tasteless. I'm sorry. Get mad at me if you want. I don't give a shit.
In many cases, in many states. So I think it's abhorrent and actually perverse to expect people who are harmed by his rhetoric, harmed by someone who had anti-black, anyone who wasn't white and Christian in his perspective. I think it's perverse to try and criticize those people.
Pat, you mad? I ain't even say anything racist yet. Stick around. Give me about 10 minutes. We're gonna get real racist up in here.
Or try and make them seem as if they're the bad guys when that's
but you see, funny enough, I can look at what you've done, and I can see somebody who is abhorrent.
Sir, Robert Wilson, Trump supporter admitted to shooting her and her husband. So how is that left on left? Oops. Okay.
And despicable. Actually, evil. Actually, the stuff when you target someone's widow as she grieves.
Once again, I disagree with the word targeting.
You're right. I can't be racist. This is called cosplaying. Give me 10 minutes. Well, 9 minutes now. I'll show you how to be a racist, and I'll show you how to be effective and funny with it.
I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me personally. My view of what you've done. I don't care about your motivation in terms of other people's.
Look. They get upset. Look, the women's ain't get to talk yet. They about to be in feminist mode. Let's get it.
Memes, many of which I may well agree with you about, but that doesn't mean that I then go and do it myself or worse, because that makes me even more inhuman and abhorrent. And by your definition,
I disagree. I think
I know you disagree. I'm just telling you. I know. I've let you have your say. I've let you have your say. I'll let you have your say. I'm telling you. I'm using your own justification to tell you what I think of you and what you've done. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my free speech at work. Let me bring in Jillian. I mean, Jillian, look. I saw Brian there nodding to some of what he was hearing there, not all, to be clear, but nodding to some of it about the hypocrisy which Lucas claims he is exposing with this stuff. What is your view of what he's said?
Okay, I don't care about you needing money. Who cares? Come on, let's go. Let's get to the show. Oh my God. Boy. Come on. There we go.
Exceptionally sad because, Lucas, you talk about how hurt you were and how offended you were by such despicable things, and then you became the thing that you found the most repulsive, which is alarming, and as I mentioned, deeply saddening. I would be more than happy to litigate some of these positions for you.
2,
Abjectly.
1.
I don't think I need any litigation from a woman who tried to downplay slavery, who tried to downplay slavery.
Here we go. Go get y'all something hot or cold to drink. It's about to go down.
She purchased a black child. That's what I would argue.
the black child.
I don't think you need to as far as
Would you
litigating
like to
anything,
discuss it?
okay?
Because the reality of the situation is that what I gave you, whether you like it or not, is a fact from the 1860 census. And the point is not
literally
to
is not a fact.
downplay
It
slavery.
is actually a bastardization of actual history.
You're
what you
wrong.
cited
We can
was
discuss it.
inaccurate. You can actually look it up. I don't know if you did.
I actually
doubt you
did
did your
look
due
it up.
diligence. You clearly did not.
Would you
Because
like to
in that
discuss
study
it?
that you're citing, in the study that I'm discussing it right now, in the study that you're citing, it takes into account not only the slaves, it takes into account the northern states and the southern states. So to try and implement or to say this all lives matter when it comes to slavery, which is abhorrent and in extreme contradiction to American history, especially in this country as chattel slavery as black Americans, is abhorrent and perverse, especially you, who is the mother of a black child, who she purchased.
Right.
Oh my God. He said it. Now watch her face when she finds out that he said that she purchased her black child. She's about to lose her mind.
To talk?
You purchased.
Is it
by all means.
How did I? Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what you mean by purchase. She's adopted, and it is illegal.
Did you
to
pay?
purchase a child.
Did you pay to get that child?
No, I paid the adoption agency.
It was
to do
absolutely
my
free.
tax study.
It was okay.
I
So
paid
then
the
there was a
adoption
process of
agency
payment.
like you
So then
paid
there is a
to
process
adopt
of
a
payment.
child.
I
To
believe
an
that other
American
people adopt.
adoption agency.
Oh my God. She's about to sue him now. Wow. Oh Lord. A-Weave, that's not what he said. Oops. Nah, I know you came in late, so you didn't hear the full exchange. That's not what he said. But okay. I figured. If you're gonna come in here late, I would suggest y'all listen for 5 minutes before you start talking. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're wrong, and that's defamation.
I'm literally
it's
right
an
as you're
absolute
saying
lie,
that
and
you
it's,
paid to an adoption
you're literally wrong, and it's this
I'm
kind
literally
of
correct.
hateful.
You know what you are. You know what you are,
I think
Lucas.
what
Here we go.
is you
Hang
downplaying
on, let me
slavery.
jump in
That's
here.
what I think is
Let me jump in
I
here,
didn't actually
Lucas.
downplay
Let me jump in
slavery.
here, Lucas. It
That's
seems to me.
Riley Gaze is so pissed off she still ain't get to talk yet, and we are. This started about 12 minutes ago. I think this is the longest she's been quiet ever.
What you did.
Seems to me, Lucas, you've decided to be just as offensive as you want to be. You're now attacking people who adopt children, which is one of the most selfless things that any human being could do, actually.
This is literally what
But
the
you-
right did to Dave Rubin, is
Fine,
it not?
fine. But what you're doing is just trying to be as offensive as...
He ain't lying. The right got mad at Dave Rubin for adopting that child with his husband. They said this isn't right. That's crazy. Look at her face. Why does she look like the stunt double for Linda Hamilton from Dark Fate? That's crazy. Riley Gaines is so pissed off right now. She still ain't get to talk. Why he met that? He looked like a whole mugshot. This is crazy. I love it though. Let's go.
possible whilst masquerading under this umbrella of everybody else is offensive, so that's why I'm doing it, to expose all the hypocrisy. But Jillian is right. Jillian is right. But actually, you have descended. The way you've just gone after Jillian. You know what, Lucas? Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. You have targeted Jillian for adopting a child. That is despicable. Let me bring
Ruth, Dave Rubin and his husband literally adopted a child, and the right got mad at him. What are we saying that's a lie? Okay. Yeah.
I targeted Jillian for adopting a black child after she downplayed slavery, which I think is contradictory.
You attacked her for adopting a child.
I mean, let's not misconstrue my words that I'm saying.
Oh, I heard your words.
Oh, okay, so he got it wrong. You adopted the child first, then you downplayed slavery. Okay, the logic is you still downplayed slavery, even if you didn't have the child. Okay.
Let me bring in Riley. Let me bring in Riley against it.
Sure, buddy.
Riley, you've been waiting patiently.
Wait a minute. That idiot Chris that just walked in here. If you're in here with a bunch of leftists, why are you here? If you don't like leftists, there's no leftists here. Number one. Number two, if you found someone that's a leftist, you should leave. Why do y'all come in here to get pissed off at something that you don't want to hear about? I don't understand this. You're literally disrespecting your boy Charlie Kirk's name because he actually went and talked with leftists. Y'all proving my point. Y'all love picking a side and then getting indoctrinated. I think y'all need to start opening up your ears, opening up your minds and your hearts. We ain't gonna agree on everything as a human race. You should be able to talk it out. You're a leftist. Fuck you. You're on the right. Fuck you. Okay, I'm in the middle. Fuck you both. Now, can we sit down and talk? Nah? Okay. Go fall off a cliff then. I'm going to talk with people that want to talk. Y'all getting upset at some bullshit. These motherfuckers, all 5 of these people right now are making money off of this. I'm making money off playing this. Let's enjoy the show and let's make this fun. Let's make comedy out of this. Because it's always fun to see 5 people yelling like a traffic accident. This is going to be great. Can we all agree to just laugh at this? And call out liars when they lie? Please. Thank you so much. Let's go.
Great rebuttal, Jillian.
Okay, can you speak, please let the others speak, please? Okay.
I wasn't actually allowed to talk, Lucas, but I'm more than happy actually to have you on my podcast.
That's because anything
And
comes
we
out your
can
mouth
we
is
can
bad.
we can discuss all.
Jesus, there you go
If
again.
you'd like to come on my podcast, I would be more than happy to.
Okay,
do
that's a
that.
different
I'm more than
podcast for a
happy.
different
More
time.
than willing to have discourse.
Okay, you know
To
what?
honor Charlie.
If you're willing for discourse, let Riley Gaines speak. Riley, what is your view of what you've been hearing?
I mean, honestly, like, it makes me feel tearful. Like, I have experienced all of the emotions over the...
Here we go with the Karen. Here we go. Tearful. Oh, you was tough talking on X, though. So wait, she gets in front of a camera, she's tearful, but when she's on X, she be talking tough. Oh, the left and right, man. Just put them in a certain situation, you're going to see them turn into a chameleon, boy.
past week. It has been, to the day, 7 days. I think initially starting with total shock and disbelief and honestly confusion. I've been so blessed in my life to not have been surrounded by death.
Good,
My
custom
family
everything.
haven't
You
lost really anyone
can
close to me.
leave and hear me
Charlie
talk
was
more.
a friend, a mentor of mine. He's who ultimately I attribute to giving me my voice, the platform that I have. I attribute that to Turning Point USA, to Charlie Kirk. So to lose a friend like that, like I have gone through all the emotions, but to sit here today.
So what are you saying? Now that he's deceased, Turning Point USA ain't finna call you? Are you saying he's the only reason why you got on? Oh, she's making an emotional plea for a job, fam. Even though she worked for Outkick. Damn. Turning Point USA must be paying some good booking fees, boy.
And listen to the discussions that we have seen, I think particularly from Lucas, whether it was about the memes that were posted, whether it was about Jillian adopting a black child. I mean, I am just like in total disbelief, disarray. How have we reached a point where these are the discussions that we're having and on a national stage here? Like we have Democratic elected.
Did you, Jillian, Riley, did you call out the memes on George Floyd? I would love to ask her that question. I know what it is, though, Femi. I know why they're really upset. Because they know next September 10th, somebody's going to say Charlie Kirk hasn't said anything racist for a year. I know that's why they're really upset. That is going to be prevalent all over social media. I get it, though.
Officials who are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, the best and most effective debater of our time.
All they do is lie.
Activist, really. I think debater is really down.
That's not true. Here, she's lying.
Yes.
In what way?
What is the lie?
Name me one prominent. Name me what? Hey, Riley.
Try again. We already got them on the list. Now shut up.
One prominent Democrat that has celebrated the death, and I find it very interesting. You've made a living attacking transgenders. You've made millions of dollars across the country doing that.
I didn't ask for this.
If you truly care about...
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry you lost your friend.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did ask for it because you were the one loud about it. You see how they lie? You see how they lie? She was thrust into the spotlight because of Leah Thomas. Come on now. Let's not tell this lie. Without Leah Thomas, nobody would know you, man. Let's just tell the truth. Real talk. Without Leah Thomas, nobody would know you. You basically grifted off a transgender. Nothing wrong with it. But don't act like, oh, all this just fell in my lap. This was coordinated.
Okay, hold on a second. Yes, in this case, you've made millions of dollars profiting, going across the country. You've made a lot of money and you've made a name.
Okay, you know I know why I'm not talking about it, numb, since you can't feel nothing. This is not the forum for it. We're not talking about reparations right now. That's why I'm not going to answer it. When I do a broadcast about reparations, you can come in and ask that question. I gave you the answer. All those African tribes that sold black folks, they're on the list too. Now, I know you ain't going to feel this, but we're going to let you go. That's a crazy look. Screenshot number 2. That's crazy. Sir, I already got a job. Why don't you go to your job? Ain't you late? The moppers are supposed to be on the floor by 10 a.m. Come on now.
For yourself. Nobody knows who you are as a college
Great,
swimmer.
Sterling. You're Charlie Kirk. I'm Iron Man. Who gets more love?
Unless you're attacking transgenders. Now, if you care about children, then why have you not criticized Donald Trump? If you care about children and women, then why have you not gone after Donald Trump for not bringing out the Epstein files? If you care about children...
Why did you bring up the Epstein files?
I'm happy that transgender is out of that volleyball tournament, okay? But
Wait a minute. Why are y'all bringing up the Epstein files? I thought this was about Charlie Kirk. Fam. I ain't gonna hold you. The white boy got TDS. I ain't gonna hold you. He might have some TDS, boy. But he did have the legendary line, Trump fellatio syndrome. He did have that, but we're gonna give him that. But damn, how did you switch this to Trump? That's crazy. Go ahead.
Talking about, and you profited off of attacking transgenders with your hatred towards transgender people. Nobody knows who you are as a college swimmer. People know who you are because you go around the country attacking transgenders, Riley. That's who you are.
Okay, sir, Dr. Evil, who cares? We're talking about Charlie Kirk here. He switched it to Trump. If this was about Charlie Kirk, he would have said, why didn't Charlie Kirk go harder and tell Trump to release the Epstein files? He went straight to Trump. He forgot about that. He saw a Trump supporter and said, I'm finna get you. He saw MAGA right here and said, I'm finna get y'all.
What she's done, Brian, very heroically, in my opinion, is she's gone around the country defending women's rights to fairness, equality, and safety. Something that I'm very surprised to hear that you, on the left, do not wholeheartedly endorse and agree with.
Pierce, let me respond to what you just said.
Sure.
If in fact Riley Gaines, by the way, Piers, I've had this conversation on your show about transgenders.
Yeah.
I don't think transgender women should be competing with women on the playing field.
So you agree with her?
However, I do, but here's my problem with Riley.
What are you
she
talking
doesn't
about?
talk about the... let me explain. She doesn't talk about the non-release of the Epstein files and real victims of sexual abuse. She doesn't criticize Donald Trump. She doesn't talk about how flags weren't at half-mast after children are massacred in school.
Why would she do that, though? That's not her shtick. Why would she do that? Okay, I got to explain this again. Okay. You social media influencers, let me holler at y'all. Content creator here. Well, Lucas is a content creator. I'll say that. Brian, you're a radio host. You would be considered an influencer. So is Jillian Michael. So is Riley Gaines. There's no money in what he just said. That's why they don't do it. If Riley Gaines came out today and said that I think Donald Trump should release the Epstein files, her crowd is going to turn on her like that. I promise you. They don't care about that right now. If it ain't about Charlie Kirk, they don't want to hear it. You saw what they did with Marjorie Taylor Greene when she started asking about AI with the states. They turned on her. MAGA does not like Nancy Mace right now. They're letting her live right now. It's not sexy to talk about the Epstein files right now. It's not. They take that as a personal affront to their president. She's better off saying something about Kash Patel.
Do you talk about, okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you. Do you talk about...
It's so funny because on one part you're saying no one knows me, and in the other breath you're acting like you followed everything that I've ever said on any topic ever.
Hang on, Riley. So, Brian, your position is that unless you talk out publicly about every single issue that is important in the world, then it disqualifies you from talking about the issue that you not only care about most because it happened to you, but you are passionate about because it protects women's rights. Is that your position?
Piers, here's my position. You don't have to talk about every...
Wrong, Neon. The Most High's Son died for you. So we're going to let you go. We don't take blasphemy up in here. The Lord, I'm trying to save you from the Most High. The Most High ready with the Nazareth Air Force One. He's going to beat your ass when you get up there. Y'all better stop playing with the Most High's name.
Every single issue. But when the second leading cause of death in children is gun violence, you probably...
Michelle, he's talking about when the school shooting happened in Minnesota, they didn't lower the flags at half-mast. When Melissa Hortman's husband and her got killed, they didn't lower the flags at half-mast. That's what he's talking about.
Police should bring that up.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why are we blocking Bert? What happened? What are you doing? Whoa. Oh. Please, people. Bert's okay. Let's not do that. Please put him back. Brooklyn Queen, put him back, please. Thank you so much.
Republicans who have talked about the Epstein files and horrible abuse. Maxwell was one of the largest sex traffickers in the world. And the Donald Trump administration have sent her to a club.
Why does Riley Gaines have to do all that? Why does Riley Gaines...
Because she said she cares...
No, Riley Gaines cares about...
Said, let me answer.
Riley Gaines cares because a very, very tall, muscular, powerful...
That's not what he even said. He said she wants to talk about standing up for little girls' rights. Why didn't you say something? The Epstein files is rife with little girls that got violated. Why didn't she say something about that? Why did she pressure Trump to release it? She got a big voice. She's part of the Fox family. She has a big enough voice. Damn, here comes the caping.
Powerful male called Leah Thomas said suddenly, who was a very moderate, unsuccessful male swimmer, suddenly said, I'm a woman, and then began destroying women in the women's pool. It was clearly grotesquely unfair, unequal, and actually dangerous. And we saw the same thing happen in a boxing ring in Paris in the Olympics.
Like to be able to
and
for
Riley to be condemned by you,
that'd be super cool.
for Riley to be condemned by you because she doesn't also talk about other issues is absurd. Anyway, we'll come back to this. I'm just going to hold the panel here for a moment. A brief timeout. I've been joined by Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace.
Oh,
Nancy,
Lord.
welcome back to Uncensored. We're here just having a kind of slightly insane debate, in my opinion. But there's a lot of insanity flying around at the moment. One of which is the utterly appalling spectacle of so many on the left openly, brazenly, proudly celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. How have we got here as a society?
Well, it's insane. You can just see in the previous debate, you saw two grown men, Democrat men, screaming, yelling on your program at two women. Riley Gaines is one of the brightest, smartest, youngest minds fighting for what she believes in, and we want to...
Okay. We out here lying again. Okay. All right, we lying again. All right.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Encourage that, not discourage it. I don't want to discourage anyone out there to prevent them from speaking up by getting yelled at. I was yelled out yesterday in front of Don Lemon at the steps of the Capitol.
But you tough. You be walking around them halls of Congress like you God Almighty. You walking around like you Ripley from Alien. You tough. Where were all those F words for Don Lemon? Where were they? That white man the other day when he asked you, don't Trump own this? What happened with the Minnesota school shooting and the one in Colorado? Don't he own that? And Charlie Kirk, don't the right own that? You got mad as hell. You was dropping F words. You was tough talking like you was still in the Air Force. Now all of a sudden, Don Lemon show up, who is not tough. He not live. And you acting like a... Come on now. Scary black man. I get it. Now you want to play victim. Got it.
I encourage that, not discourage it. I don't want to discourage anyone out there to prevent them from speaking up by getting yelled at. I was yelled out yesterday in front of Don Lemon at the steps of the Capitol, and all we want to do, I'm a rape survivor. All I want as a rape victim is to ensure that men aren't in my back.
Good, prove it to me, Samuel. How am I an idiot? Did she just basically said she felt in fear of her life because Don Lemon yelled at her. But some white reporter next to her asked her, hey, don't the right own this? And she started capping and started yelling and talking about F words. Come on now.
Bathroom or Riley's bathroom or in the shower next to us. That is dangerous.
Good.
And
buzz off somewhere else.
See those men on your program yelling at the women who are just talking freely, talking in a sane and normal manner, trying to have...
But you yelled at a man. You literally yelled at a man outside the Capitol. Come on now.
But politically trying to have a national conversation, and they're being screamed at. That's how we got here. And until the left, and until the Democrat Party acknowledges their role in this, it's not going to get better.
Good. You're right, Colson. I need better content. Yeah, tell that to the other 237 people that are in here. Go ahead. Tell them I need better content. They're still here. If this content wasn't good, I'd probably be sitting at 6. It's okay, though. You can leave. There's better content. I'm sure if you swipe up, there's going to be somebody in some restaurant eating waffles right now. Ain't saying shit. Or somebody playing Roblox. Ain't saying shit. Go ahead.
And I have to tell you, it's terrifying right now to be a conservative. I am carrying my 6
Lord, it's terrible to be a conservative.
Everywhere I go. I have armed guards everywhere I go. I can't even go to the grocery store alone anymore. I can't even walk my...
Ma'am, you're a fucking member of Congress. You have security that the taxpayers provide for. Cut this shit out. Oh, wow.
A dog without a gun. Because I have so many on the left, Democrats, a lot of transgenders who are emailing, calling, trying to show up at my office, threatening to kill me, my children, my family, my elderly parents, father of my children. And I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to be terrified. And I'm going to figuratively fight back, figuratively push back, and protect my safety. Today, I'm going to lead a floor debate against Ilhan Omar. Lucas was asking about a prominent Democrat celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. They're everywhere. But let's start with Ilhan Omar, who's right down the hall from me right now, and I'm in Congress at the Capitol, who celebrated the murder and political assassination of Charlie Kirk by saying that people who were mourning his death were full of shit, excuse my language, but no, and is posting content celebrating his murder, calling Charlie Kirk a terrorist. I can't even with these people because they just won't tell the truth. And like, I love having a debate. I love coming on and having a conversation, even when we disagree, Piers. But there's never anything ill or negative or like, I don't want to bring harm on anybody, but we have to tell the truth. And how do you unite with
The same chick who be running around saying she's gonna shoot people, now she don't want to bring harm to nobody. Okay.
people who refuse to tell the truth, who continue to lie? I don't know how you continue to have a conversation with these people. We have to shun them.
Do you have to be careful? You know, I watched Pam Bondi trying to explain that hate speech is something that the Attorney General believed should be pursued with the full force of the law, and I recoiled from that, as did many on the right, because actually the First Amendment protects hate speech. It doesn't protect incitement to violence or acts of violence, but you can say hateful things and be protected under the First Amendment. And it was pretty staggering to hear an Attorney General who didn't seem to realise that. Some have criticised you because you have
because they call her Red Flag Bondi and Baker Act Bondi. And you people knew that when she was nominated to that position after Matt Gaetz bowed out because of his controversy. Y'all knew that. Y'all had the information in your pocket, but just because she was sitting there kissing Trump's ass, y'all let her pass. Now, people that warned you about her, they're laughing at you right now. Saying, I told you so. You get what you get.
line, you've encouraged people to call in, and you know, if people are saying bad things about Charlie Kirk and so on, you know, there will be people on the left going, well, this is just complete hypocrisy, because...
No, Bert, there's no law against hate speech. There's laws against speech that incites violence. There were laws on hate speech, everybody be in jail right now. Well, we're getting to that point with this crime bill. Well, we'll see next year. We'll see. Let me see what she wrote on this. If you know of any South Carolina teacher, state employee, or federally funded employee who has celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk, reported anonymously to Team Mace. Oh, okay, we got hotlines now. All right. Surprised it's not a 900 number. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Really what you're operating with this is a form of the very cancel culture that you and others on the right have always professed to hate. What do you say to that?
Well, this isn't cancel culture, and I have voted and I've supported legislation that protects the freedom of speech, that protects the First Amendment.
Actually, white people commit the most murder right now, but I figured y'all would still be living in 2019. It's okay, though.
I've been out there on the Epstein files, too, protecting survivors, by the way. There are Republicans out there who are very vocal, like myself. But free speech has consequences, and I'll quote Ilhan Omar, who tweeted that you have the right to say anything you want, you have the right to those opinions, but there are consequences. And if you are around children, my particular focus is on the educational system, those that are teaching your kids or in the classroom, and those who are making healthcare decisions for people. I don't want the bias. And
wait a minute. Sir Little Wolf said 1-800-snitching. Nah, we got something better for that. Check this out. Watch this. This is the level Nancy Mace is trying to get to, fam.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip. This is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you got to do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIP. Channel 2, community coverage, you can count.
She should solely play that every time somebody call that number. My name is Tip. I'm talking about another type Tip. They said T.I. initial stands for the informant. I said, some bitch, y'all out of line, boy.
Celebrating the murder of a political class, a political side that they don't agree with. They should not be making medical decisions for others, and they should not be indoctrinating our kids. We look at Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old kid who self-admittedly murdered Charlie Kirk because he didn't like his opinions and thought he was full of hate.
Mm-hmm.
They're condoning this. They're endorsing this. He was radicalized, we believe, at school and in the education system. We can't allow that. I mean, when I was growing up, teachers were just normal. You had no idea what their politics were. And now kids are forced to say, what are your pronouns? And can you define 100 genders? And, you know, they're being...
But y'all are the same ones cheering people putting the 10 Commandments in schools. Yeah. Public school, by the way. Public school. Yeah.
Influenced and inspired and radicalized, and this can't be happening. This is how we got here, and we have to admit that this is the truth, and that we're going to work.
Cody, the commandments do not belong in public school. I thought that was established already. Okay, maybe it wasn't. We'll say it again. The 10 Commandments don't belong in public school. I love how we got away from the separation of church and state. I love how we're blending it again. I like it. Go ahead.
Together to end it, and they don't want to. They don't want to, and I don't know what else to do. I want to defund the schools that allow teachers that celebrate murder to stay there and stay employed. I want to defund them. And I want to shame these teachers out of existence. I don't want them anywhere near my kids.
Defund them.
No.
Defund
Or
them.
yours.
How much you want to bet her kids don't go to public school? How much you want to bet? I bet if we look, we find out her kids are in some nice elite private school in South Carolina or DC.
Nancy Mace, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.
No, Kellis, Christians are not against the 10 Commandments. Christians are against the 10 Commandments being broadcasted in school because they know what's going to happen. You have different religious sects in schools. You're going to have banging out there. You don't need that. Y'all already got pissed off that you had Muslims being allowed to pray in schools. You're going to force Muslims to read the 10 Commandments? The Sikh? What about the Jews who don't believe in Christ? What about them? You're going to force them to do that? Oh, I guess y'all want lawsuits all over the place. All right, go ahead.
Let's go back to the panel. Brian Shapiro, did any of that give you pause for thought?
Well, first of all, I find it ironic that Nancy Mace is talking about telling the truth, yet she's the person who blamed the shooter in the Charlie Kirk murder as a transgender. I find that very ironic. She also called me a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered independent that is anti-Donald Trump. So I want to be very clear on that as well. Listen, now she mentioned Ilhan Omar. If that's true about...
Okay, Kellis, let's play that game since you're not getting what I'm saying. Okay, fine. Am I allowed to put... Let's just be hyperbolic here. How would it look if I put a picture of one of the 1,000 gods in Hindu? Like the god Vishnu in a classroom in a public school. It said every day you students got to pray to that. How would you feel if you're not Hindu? How would you feel? What if I put a pagan god in my classroom? How would you feel if your kid came home and said, "Hey, what'd you learn in school today?" Well, we did reading, writing, and we also prayed to a pagan god. They had a picture of him on the wall. The teacher did. Y'all be down there the first thing in the morning. By the way, screenshot number 3, because Brian over there looking crazy. My point, I already made it, Michael. You're not supposed to have religious things in school unless you're doing a lesson about it. Louisiana and Tennessee are sitting there with laws talking about they're going to put the 10 Commandments in schools, knowing they have diverse student bodies with diverse religious backgrounds. Y'all got pissed off at people putting up Black Lives Matter stuff in their classroom, and that's considered ideology. Come on now. I'm against all of it. You're supposed to go to school just to learn. I don't give a shit about your politics. I don't give a shit about your ideologies. I need my kid to learn. If the children want to express themselves and express their religions to each other, that's cool. Let them do it on their own. I don't need some teacher doing it. That's my point. And you're watching your state government where there's supposed to be a separation of church and state. You're watching them do it and y'all don't have a problem with it because it's your side. You should be against all of it. No indoctrinating the kids.
Ilhan Omar and she made those statements, I totally disavow that. But I don't think anybody could name me 3 Democrats that are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death that are elected officials. Number 2, every Democrat out there is saying this is wrong for the most part, political violence, we should never celebrate it. And all the right is doing is blaming it on the radical left, including Donald Trump. Nancy Mace wants to say to bring people together.
Chris Jackson, are you serious? Okay. We got to stop this because he said there's no proof of that. Okay. So Louisiana didn't do this, right? Louisiana didn't do this, right? They didn't try this. That was last year. You're right. There's no proof of this. I just made that up. They just blocked it 3 months ago. There. Tennessee dropped theirs this year. Yeah, you're right. I made it up.
Donald Trump has divided us by blaming the radical left for what took place here.
So you would be blaming, okay, but Brian, be honest, if it was the other way around, and the investigators said publicly, as they have, as has the governor of Utah, that all the evidence pointed to this person being radicalized by the far right, you would not hesitate to say this was a far right assassination, and you would go on a massive rant about it. So there's a double standard there.
No,
right?
you're wrong. You're wrong. I don't do that, Piers. You can look at my social media. No, you're wrong. Here's what I do. I call out political violence on both sides. If you recall, Piers,
that wasn't my point.
Right,
I'm not disputing that. Yeah. I'm just saying if he was a radical right, if he'd been radicalized by the right, I don't think you would be saying people shouldn't be talking about the radicalization.
The reason why, Piers, I ever bring up...
Oh, Robert H. So should I bring up videos of white people crying on YouTube? Should I do that? Because there's plenty. Destiny, stay crying. Asmongold, stay crying. And that's usually frequent because he don't clean his kitchen. Should I bring up the 16th in, aka the quartering, how he cries every time? Should I do that? Megyn Kelly be crying all the time. Tim Pool, you want to go Tim Pool? Y'all, I know y'all know Tim Pool be crying all the time. He cried so much he threw his voice out. Should I bring up Matt Walsh crying all the time? Benny Johnson. Riley Gaines was just crying. All right.
The radical right is
that's the best you got. I live off food stamps. That's the best you got. Come on, you could be better than that.
Nor is the left.
Listen,
the left, having said this for years, now is doing exactly the same thing. I saw Jimmy Kimmel go on a rant saying this guy was a MAGA guy, the shooter. Complete lie.
Piers, I'm always consistent on this issue. It doesn't matter whether it comes from the right or the left. It's wrong. We need to call out political violence on both sides of the aisle.
But we should also be unafraid to... Yeah, but Brian, you're missing my point. We should also be unafraid to call out radicalization when we see it as a primary motivation for these assassinations.
So do you think this shooter was a radical leftist?
I think this person was, as the investigators are saying... I'll come to you in a moment, Lucas. As the investigators are saying, as the governor is saying, the governor has hit a very, in my view, sensible tone throughout all this. As they've all been saying, all the evidence is pointing to a young man who was radicalized to the left.
Okay, so let me respond to that real quickly. So first of all, even if that is true, I totally disagree with what Megyn Kelly said. If you're somebody who wants to kill somebody because you disagree with their beliefs, then there's something wrong with you. You are crazy. So Piers, even if that was true, now we know he comes from a conservative Mormon family. Yeah. I don't really care what his political affiliation is. I'm grateful that his father, and a transgender, by the way, who so many, 2 people on this panel continue to attack, there's a transgender that we should be thanking.
The 2 people in this panel haven't even got a chance to say a word yet.
Whoa, now, miss, screenshot number 4. Jillian look crazy. Ma'am, you literally talked. You literally talked. Now she said you got, the 2 people on here haven't even had a chance to say anything. She literally just went back and forth with Lucas. You literally got like 3 minutes to yourself. Come on now. Told you, now she's playing victim again.
Let's just let them talk.
All right, let me bring in the two women here. Let me bring in Jillian.
They are. We
Jillian,
actually don't need to say
don't
anything.
talk at once,
They're
please.
showing the
Can the
world
two
who
men
they
shut
are.
up for a moment? Jillian.
There are so many lies here. I don't know which to tackle first. The reality is that we are here because of the very things you guys are doing in this moment. You refuse to engage in any sort of intelligent dialogue or debate. You just name call. We're bigots. We're racist. This is exactly how we got here.
Okay. Who's defending liberals? I literally just said Lucas was wrong on something. Piers is a literal liberal, and I said he was wrong on many things. I said Brian Shapiro was wrong on things. Those three are lefties. Yeah. Everybody gets to smoke on this channel, including you, you loser. Robert Homeless, because I know you didn't want to finish out the other 7 letters. I know. I get it.
This kind of othering, this kind of demonization. If you guys want to have an intelligent conversation about something that I have said, something that Riley has said, or something that Charlie has said, I'm absolutely here for it. But in this moment, you are very clearly showing the world that you are an integral part of this problem, and it's irrelevant what side of the aisle you're on. It's a human characteristic of demonizing others, and you both have it.
All right, Riley.
Can I just?
Yeah, I mean,
Riley
I
will
would just
go
like the
next.
opportunity.
Look at Lucas'
to
face.
myself for a second, because Brian, what you said is like the most ill-informed thing I've ever heard. Number one, to insinuate that I'm not a good athlete, as if that even matters. Okay?
He never
I
said
run the
that,
fastest
but he
marathon.
never said that. See, she went into Karen mode again. He never said that you weren't a good athlete. You have to be a good athlete to make it to the Olympics. On my side, I said nobody would know you outside of Leah Thomas.
Of all time. Can you name me 3 female swimmers?
The reason why I said nobody would
Can
know
you name
who
me
you are
3
because
female
you are
swimmers? If you were going to talk about how no one knew me,
No.
can you name me 3 of the top female swimmers in this nation or this
99%
world?
of the country. 99% of the country can't name 3 female swimmers. The only reason why we know.
He ain't telling no lies though. Without Googling, y'all can't think of 3 female swimmers. Okay, 2, because you were gonna say Riley Gaines and Leah Thomas is a man. You can't think of 2 others. You can't. You'd have an easier time thinking of 3 male swimmers. Leah Thomas, Michael Phelps, and Ryan Lochte. Just saying.
Okay, precisely. So why did my athletic ability, which again, one of the fastest in the nation and the world, really, for that matter, when I was competing, why did that have anything to do with anything? Are you saying only the best female athletes, only the best of the best, only those who are winning Olympic gold medals deserve fairness? Is that what you're saying? Make it clear to me, please.
What I'm saying is.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to continue on now. To say that I have not been a voice for the Epstein victims is ridiculous. This is a recent tweet that I put out that I got a lot of flack for. I said, I serve Christ, not a politician. That being said,
Donald Trump release the Epstein files?
We are going to.
Why are you bringing that up? He did it again. Why are you bringing that up, sir? Jesus.
Like the proven harm and abuse of Epstein cause never happened. His victims deserve so much better than that. There is no line to walk when it comes to sex trafficking, especially of children. So to slander me and say that I have not been a voice for the Epstein victims is ridiculous. I have been a voice for the women in Muslim countries, in Afghanistan, in Yemen, in South Sudan, who are under Sharia law, who don't get to get an education, who don't get to go to the gym, who don't get to go to the doctor. Like, I've been a voice for all these women. So to sit here and act like you know me, number one, is ridiculous and entirely defamatory.
Okay, Riley, can I respond? Okay, Riley.
Now that I'm done.
Understood.
Absolutely.
Let me ask. Okay, so Riley, when Donald Trump.
Well, Barbecue Man, this is something I told my crowd last week. They don't care about Charlie Kirk. He's better as a symbol to them than a living human being. It went straight from let's talk about Charlie Kirk, what Lucas put up and why he went in on him, to now we talking about Trump. Piers know what he's doing. It's the algorithm. Because he could have said, listen, this is not about Trump. This is about Charlie Kirk. Let's stay on topic. He let him go off because he knew it was going to bring in ratings. And it's going to bring in views. Guess some.
Trump bragged about going into teenage girls' locker rooms on the Howard Stern show. Are you willing to condemn Donald Trump right now on the program? Or the fact that he's a liable sexual abuser and a 34-count felon? He bragged about going into teenage girls' locker rooms. If you care, which I believe you do, by the way, Riley, if you care about young women, are you willing to condemn Donald Trump for going into teenage girls' locker rooms without their permission?
I think any man who violates a woman's privacy, safety, fairness when it comes to athletic competitions is detestable and condemnable. Easy.
Why did you have to clarify it with athletic competitions? Why not just anything? Riley Gaines don't care about models, family. She don't. Okay.
Fairness. Hey, Piers, this is why I bring this up. I'm so glad she said that. She went back to transgenders and she didn't answer my question, so I will try to ask it again.
I said
Riley.
nothing about
Are you willing
transgenders.
to...
It's telling
She
that
said
you
it-
insinuate
Any man-
I'm talking about men.
She won't answer the
May I
question.
address the galvanizing
Just did.
made by Jillian?
Any man.
Can I just finish this?
Any
real
man
quick? She won't condemn.
So that
She won't
answers-
condemn Donald Trump for anything.
You sound like a little child who's throwing a hissy
I think
fit.
that would
Here's
include, to be fair, I think
Did you see that? Get some.
Condemn Donald Trump for anything.
You sound like a little child who's throwing a hissy fit.
I think that would include, to be fair, I think that
She
includes.
won't answer the question.
All right, let me bring in
She won't
Lucas.
answer the question.
Let me bring in Lucas.
Any
To be
man.
fair, I
Let
believe
Lucas
that
respond.
to be fair, she didn't name him by name, but I think that.
Mr. Big Benny, that was actually proven to be false, but you're putting out defamation and libel. That story was proven false, and that was years ago. But y'all just ran with that narrative. It's all good though. I get it. I get it.
Donald Trump. But to bring up as far as the galvanizing, which is, I think what we're witnessing is gaslighting and political schizophrenia at its peak. Because when we talk about galvanizing, we have to look at the body of work that Charlie Kirk did. Whether it was to, once again, dehumanize black people, to say that black women were low IQ and non-deserving of their positions, right? Whether it was to bastardize as far as a black American lexicon, whether it's the perversion of woke, or whether it was the perversion of black fatigue, something that was crucial to black history, even to this day, whether it was the perversion of CRT, I think it's absolutely diabolical to say that this is coming from the left, when Charlie Kirk spent most of his life to do that. I think when he talks about Black Death, when it's Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, all these people that he vilified, all these people that he could care less about. But you want to know something? There's not one mention of Daniel Schaefer. I mentioned Daniel Schaefer. White man killed, police brutality. There's not one mention of Jared Lackey on any of his posts. I mentioned Jared Lackey. White man tased to death, police brutality. There is not one mention of Kelly Thomas. There is not one mention of Ryan Whitaker, killed, shot in the back, white man, because he was playing video games too loud. So to say that they care about, police brutality, they care that it's not galvanizing. They are galvanizing. Charlie Kirk and other people like him are galvanizing their audience to, ironically, to promote a white victimhood complex on a certain group of white individuals who feel disassociated with society currently.
All right, Brian, hold fire.
Same thing that they argued that was happening to black people. They are now prophetizing.
I just want to ask Jillian.
You made your point. Look,
I just want to ask Jillian a
Brian,
question.
I'm going to come back to you in one moment. We're going to bring in another guest now, Jeffree Star, who's a cosmetics influencer. Thank you very much indeed for joining me, Jeffree. You've gone viral. You've gone viral this week for this TikTok live.
He encouraged everyone to speak about their beliefs, whether he believed them or not. Am I a Republican? No, I'm a person. Because I'm standing up for someone that passed away, I'm now being called names in the chat. This is what's wrong with a lot of you people. You will never get far in life. You are sick in the head. Someone just said they're unsubscribing from me. Thank God, please. Because if you believe in they and thems, you're part of the problem. If you're so stupid enough to go against science, please unfollow me.
Jeffree, what happened to you as a consequence of that going viral?
So about 100,000 people have unfollowed me this week for speaking about Charlie, the entire thing. I can't believe so many people in America are cheering and praising his death. It's honestly disgusting. So while I was...
This is why they tell you never leave your grift. Never leave your grift. I'm going to have to explain this again. If you do content creating or you're an influencer, you never leave your grift that got you to where you are. Last year, we all watched it. They tried to pull Kai Cenat into politics. He said, I don't talk about none of that. Yeah, he had a couple bumps in the road, but he's arguably getting bigger now. Other side of the coin. We watched Tatum Tots. He had the beautiful griff. You could sit there and just knock black people all day. You can go online and laugh at The View all day. You could laugh at CNN all day. Hundreds of thousands of views. He went over and said, you know what? I saw what Valuetainment did with Bibi Netanyahu. I want a piece of that action. Started talking nice about Israel. Got the Israel tattoos on the forearm. Went and interviewed that man. They are destroying him right now. Never leave your griff. Lucas went through the same thing. He went back over to the left. All them right wingers left. Dropped this man about 200,000 subscribers. He built it back up. But damn, never leave the griff. And by the way, this Jeffree Star is a racist. But, you know, we're not going to go there yet.
Live streaming, I found out about what happened in a real time, and it was so horrifying and devastating. I've followed him for a few years. Do I agree with everything he's ever said? Of course I don't. But I loved a lot of what he said, and it resonates with me. But the good news is hundreds of thousands of more people have followed me, and they're on the exact same page. So I don't care about the following. It's not about that. I just had to speak my mind.
Have you been surprised, shocked, depressed by the reaction? I mean, I'm genuinely stunned. I thought I'd seen everything in the news game going back 40 years. But to see the outpouring of gleeful celebration of a young man's murder for expressing his opinions, and a young man who would deliberately go into the opposition territory, college campuses, and get people to line up and say, come on argue with me in a respectful way. The idea that he gets murdered for doing that all the time seemed particularly perverse to me. Were you?
Exactly.
How did you feel about it?
I was honestly horrified because I'm someone that's always been outspoken. I love the truth, and for some reason, people are afraid of the truth. I've been told all
because Christopher Jackson, that's not what will sell. If he had 4 or 5 politicians on here, he'd probably be getting like 200,000 views. Nobody wants to hear from these politicians unless it's Trump, unless it's the president, maybe even the vice president, depending on who it is. Those garner the millions of views. Influencers make bank because they know their crowds are going to come over and watch it. I'm sure Brian is going to go on his channel and cut up clips of what he said with Riley Gaines. He's going to get 100,000 views off of that. Lucas already did his live stream last night. I think he's about to hit 100,000 if he didn't hit it already. I'm sure Jeffree going to clip up some of these, put it on his TikTok. Boom. He's going to get 100,000 views. Jillian Michaels is going to play it. I don't know where the fuck she be at. She probably on YouTube too. I'm sure she's going to get views. That's the game. And I'll get tens of thousands of views on this. That's the game.
week, he would have hated someone like you. No, he would have respected me because I'm my own person and I know how to have my own thoughts. So when I found out, when I saw it in real time, I was completely devastated. I can't believe someone that has an opinion is now dead. It's disgusting.
Yeah, Brian, I mean, when you hear that, do you find it disgusting, the reaction that Jeffree's had?
Yeah, absolutely. 150%. I think anybody who celebrates Charlie Kirk's death is absolutely disgusting. And I applaud you for, doing the right thing and being a good human being and saying this is horrible. Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this. I feel for his kids and his family. Doesn't mean we have to agree with everything Charlie Kirk stood for, which obviously I don't. But for the people that are attacking you on social media, I mean, I've gotten death threats as well. It's despicable, and I feel for you. We should be able to have a respectful dialogue about Charlie Kirk, and I would certainly welcome that with Jillian, and I have some questions for her if we have the time.
Well, ask her now.
Well, Jillian, hi, Jillian. I agree with you. I think respectful conversation and political discourse is good. It's one thing I have in common with Charlie Kirk. Here's what I would say, ask you about. The day Paul Pelosi was bludgeoned with a hammer, the day after that, Charlie Kirk went on his podcast. He made jokes about it. And on his show, he asked his listeners to donate to the person who tried to kill Paul Pelosi. Are you willing to admit that that's also wrong? Because Charlie Kirk did that on his show.
100%. If Charlie did that, I 100% agree with you. I haven't seen that.
I love how all the bad stuff he said or did, they never see it. I bet you if he asked her, what about his comment on black pilots? She's going to say, I didn't hear him say that. Damn. By the way, Turning Point USA operates with DEI, just for those who don't know.
A lot of the stuff that I have seen and experienced with Charlie, he advocates consistently against violence. So if he did that, I am in 100% agreement with you. And in fact...
Whoa, you mean the dude who said we need to treat transgenders like they did in the 50s and 60s? Oh. I'm guessing Jillian didn't hear him say that either.
I came prepared today to talk about this kind of violence and othering on both sides. And I could talk about I believe it was 2016, when Donald Trump talked about people who believe in the Second Amendment going out and taking care of some of these politicians who didn't agree with him. Because I think the othering and the demonization and the labeling is devastating our culture. And it is literally getting people.
So, Jillian,
so if Charlie did that, then I agree with you on that. I'm unfamiliar with it. I'd have to watch it myself.
Right. So, Jillian, I appreciate you giving me that answer. But he also said that Michelle Obama and Joy Reid don't have the processing brain power to be taken seriously. He called gay people destructive. He said Taylor Swift should submit to her husband. He also said that he blamed Jewish money for ruining America. Let me preface this by saying,
I watched a lot of that stuff. I watched a lot of that stuff, and that's mischaracterized. And when
Mischaracterize? How do you mischaracterize saying Jewish money destroyed this country? How do you mischaracterize that? I want to hear her say. I want to hear her explain this. Cause we know you can't say nothing about them. They made Jay-Z change lyrics. They censored the full version of "They Don't Care About Us." Come on now.
And he was talking about DEI. It actually is, and I'm more than happy to send you numerous videos where Charlie talks about the conservative movement and how there is absolutely room for people who are gay, and goes on to admonish somebody who says that there are not. He talks about
who is Charlie Kirk to dictate who can be led in the conservative movement? Now they're giving Charlie way more power than he had. He's the arbiter of who gets in the conservative movement. That he should have kicked out all those grifters from the left that walked in. So now Charlie Kirk was the gatekeeper. Oh, okay.
Dave Rubin, he talks about Peter Thiel.
Jillian.
This is the
Ryan Jenkins, how do I have opinions of a certain side when I was giving both sides the business? Oh, I got it. You got here late. Let me help you again, since you didn't hear it. I gave him shit for things he said. I gave Lucas shit for the things he said. I gave Piers shit for the things they said. And all three of these men are on the left. I literally said Lucas was wrong on something. I literally said Brian was wrong on something. Everybody gets the smoke here. I know that's strange to you that there's somebody that doesn't pick sides.
Out of his mouth.
This is Jillian.
I am married.
Jillian, just let me respond.
You don't want
10 seconds. Jillian. No, Jillian, I just want 10 seconds, respectfully. Thank you. I'm sure that Charlie Kirk has said a lot of nice things about a lot of people. But I'm sure he said a lot of nice things about people, but that doesn't take away...
Jeremy, because he wants Charlie's spot. That's why he's going ham. I thought people have taught y'all this already. Everybody, when Charlie died, they gave out their fake condolences. They were auditioning. They want his spot. They want somebody to anoint him. Or them. Or she as the next big conservative voice.
The bad things that he said also. I played those videos on my show yesterday. I didn't take them out of context. I didn't take them out of context. Okay, so explain to me when... When Charlie Kirk says that blacks were better off in the 1940s and that the Civil Rights
I
Act
actually
should not
can
have been
explain
passed.
that in detail. I can explain that in detail. There's an hour and 22-minute long podcast where he dives into it. And what he goes on to talk about is that the intentions of the Civil Rights Act were fantastic. The desire for equal opportunity, but that because it was so broad and so vague, it made room for things like demanding equal outcomes. He cites a case where teachers in New York have to take a basic standardized test, okay? And this started in the 1980s and the 1990s. Unfortunately, Black and Hispanic teachers didn't pass at the same rate that whites and Asians did. Now, instead of looking at why is this happening, where is the disparity, how can we fix this, what's broken with the system, years later, New York as a state was sued because these teachers failed at disproportionate rates and had to pay $1 billion. He's turning around saying, this is crazy. This is insane. I happen to agree. That's crazy. And it doesn't fix what's actually broken. He talks about how
this is the point. Using
absolutely
cases to paint
says
a broad
that
spectrum of a group of people.
He outright says.
Good. You're correct, Jeremy. Since nobody should be getting reparations, then Charlie's people over there at Sinclair and Turning Point USA shouldn't be trying to extort Jimmy Kimmel, right? Because remember, his words harmed her family. She shouldn't ask for reparations, right?
That first of all, Charlie doesn't even believe in race. He goes on to talk about how it's a social construct. He goes on to praise Martin Luther King's position that we shouldn't judge men on the color of their skin.
And then, the same Charlie Kirk who said Martin Luther King was a fraud. I told you, the conservatives love bringing up that content of character, skin color. You bastard, you. The man literally sat there last year with a black pastor. He iggyed for weeks. He's going to expose MLK. Used a black pastor to do it and just let him talk on the show. Where was this exposing? Fine. MLK also said when we go to Washington, we're coming to get our check. He was also advocating for reparations. Why didn't Charlie play that? Oh. Wait. Didn't MLK say something else? Very famous family. Did he say something? Where the hell is it? I don't think I have it anymore. I have to go in here real fast and get it. We're gonna play something else. I'm surprised Charlie didn't see this one. I think he would have lost his mind if he'd have heard MLK where he said this.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
But they out there putting up AI memes of this man with MLK. And this is what he thought.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
That's all them conservatives do. Judge somebody on the content of the character, not their skin color. Okay. Now, tell me the rest of what MLK stood for. You can't say somebody's a fraud and then use something because you hear it and you like it.
You mean the same Martin Luther King who he vilified?
Do you know what he
What are we
vilified
talking
over?
about? This is the hypocrisy
Let me
I'm
answer
talking
you. Let me answer you actually.
Also, is this the same
What he
Jeffree Star that said the
criticized-
N-word
let me
and called black women
answer you.
nappy-headed?
You don't want
I
the
know this can't
answer.
be the same Jeffree Star.
Let me answer.
That was debunked, actually, Lucas. But this was the same Jeffree Star who said he would throw battery acid in a black woman's face. Oh, yeah, Jeffree did say that. We finna show it to you. Now, Lucas, you got that wrong. Where is it? Yeah, there's the video. 2004 footage of Jeffree using abusive racial slurs. Look, joking about splashing battery acid on a black woman. Damn, that's loud. Well, maybe if she wasn't wearing the wrong foundation, I wouldn't have to splash no battery acid. I wanted to lighten her skin tone. Huh. He did a music video and said the N-word. Huh. All right.
I've never said that. Please stop lying.
We literally have it on video.
That's all they've done this whole show.
Stop
Jeffree.
criticism of MLK.
You
This is
literally just
actually
made
most
that up.
interesting. Oh my God.
Google it.
His top.
I hear what you're saying,
criticism of
Jillian. I absolutely understand what you're saying.
You
and I
don't.
would
Let
argue
me
that it's
tell you
permissible.
his top criticism. His top criticism.
How are you
is
going to
that
tell me what he said? We've seen what he said.
Travis, let me help you since you're late and you've never been to this channel before. The day Charlie Kirk died, I was streaming and I showed the news report. My crowd who's been here will show you I didn't dance on that man's grave. The first thing I said, prayers to his family, especially his kids. It's been damn near 8 days. I still haven't danced on that man's grave. I must have grown as a human being. I could have violated him that night. Ain't no hate here.
I'm very familiar
Clearly you
with Jeffree. I was part of
haven't.
Turning.
Clearly
I
you
was literally a
haven't.
part of Turning Point USA at one
Clearly.
point. So I'm very familiar with it.
So tell me
But the
what
problem
did
is
he,
the
what were his
scrutiny,
top?
the
What were his top
scrutiny that
criticisms?
the issue that I have is that the
You
scrutiny
will
that
not
you're
let me
levying.
say it because it's totally antithetical to your narrative.
It's not about antithetical. It's about as far as fact check.
Then let
Did
me
you
say
fact
it.
check
Then
anything
let me
that he
say
said?
it. I
Did
listened
you
to
fact
it
check
this
anything that he
morning.
said? I didn't ask that. I asked you to fact check anything that he said.
Every
Piers,
single
can this like
thing.
be muted?
Yeah, I don't really know what we're getting to because every time she tries to explain to you, Lucas, you just
Apologies.
talk over.
Go ahead, by all means.
Well, no, it's
Tell me
Jillian,
your perspective of
You
what you
just need
said.
to understand the concept of a debate. Riley,
Jillian, I'm here to listen to Jillian, and I'm trying to have a respectful conversation.
I see what he's doing. The white boy's trying to get Jillian Michaels on his show so he could grift the views. I ain't even mad at it. Lucas did the same thing. I ain't even mad at it.
With her, but Jillian, do you understand
There's
why
nothing
there are a lot of people
respectful
out there that
about
are very...
this, Brian. There's nothing respectful about
What did I say that
either
was
you or
disrespectful?
Lucas
What did
have
I
been
say that was
this entire
disrespectful to you?
time.
What
The
did I
fact
say
that
that
no
was
one want to come from
disrespectful?
my swimming abilities is crazy. That is
I
crazy.
did not come.
Okay.
The fact, okay, you don't understand why I said that, and I'm going to try to explain it to you again. The reason why
Please.
people know who you are is not because of your swimming. I'm sure you are a great swimmer.
Brian,
It's because
I
you're
did
on
not
TV
ask for
attacking
this.
transgenders.
I did not want to be doing this. This is not where I want to be. I
You
was
don't
in
accept
dental
money
school
for
to be a
making
dentist.
speeches?
Good. Give up the grift. You wanted to become a dentist? Give up the grift and go be a dentist. We've seen many, excuse me, we've seen many a social media influencer transition out of the public light into a private life and be fine. I'm sure you and your husband have enough money. You guys can leave social media and go be a dentist. Especially with your name, I'm sure you'll have a very good client list. Go do that.
Okay. Like,
You don't accept money to
it
make
has to be,
speeches?
but it's people like you,
Do you know how much money it costs
that continue
to get
to
into
give
these
me a
conversations,
platform.
Brian?
It's not even the words that I'm saying; it's the words that you're saying that give people like me,
So somebody
sane,
forced you.
common sense,
All right,
normal
understood.
people.
I
a
do
platform.
find, Brian, I do find your line of attack on Riley utterly inexplicable because she did not.
I disagree.
She did not create the situation. She lost a place
Is
in the
somebody
top
forcing her?
race because somebody
Is some-
thought it was a good idea for a 6'3" male to compete in her race.
I don't feel that way.
That's what started this.
I don't feel that way at all.
I want to ask one thing of Jeffree before we finish this. Jeffree, there was an allegation from Lucas there that you've used the N-word. Do you want to respond to that? I think it's fair that you respond.
I've never called a black person that. That's been debunked. And the second thing you said, I've never said.
It wasn't debunked. You used the N-word in a song. You still said it. We just showed the proof. Okay.
Said before. So please stop
We have
lying.
video evidence of it.
It's just the same
point that I want to make. Just like
Sean Fink, you sound like a bitch. I don't need bitches in here. So I don't know what you're talking about. I know you want to be seen. I know. I get it. Now, all you on the right that getting upset about a word, y'all shouldn't be talking. Because I saw how triggered y'all got with them Charlie Kirk memes. I would stop.
lastly, is the hypocrisy of the Republicans. Well, I think that the hypocrisy of the Republicans, when it comes to individuals like Jeffree, when we have a party that's for marriage between a man and a woman, but then they celebrate, or in some cases, deride what happened with David Rubin and his marriage. I think it's hypocrisy.
And you defended him, Charlie Kirk.
I think it's hypocritical when it comes to Riley Gaines. I'm talking about trans as Fox News hires Caitlyn Jenner, as we have Blair White and
Ooh, somebody said the N-word. That don't bother me. Remember, I'm a black person from the hood. I heard that 10,000 times a day. I'm desensitized to that word. Hell, I say it on here. N-word don't bother me. Now, if I said Charlie Kirk, you're going to be bothered.
Caitlyn Jenner's a friend of mine, so what's your point?
As she.
I was with Dave Rubin last week.
Is Caitlyn Jenner a man? Riley Gaines, is Caitlyn Jenner a man?
Yes, and I tell Caitlyn that he's a man. I tell Caitlyn I will call you by Caitlyn. I will not use she, her pronouns.
This
and
is
guess
what
what
I'm
Caitlyn
talking
says to
about.
me? I don't need you to use she, her pronouns
This is
when
what the
talking about
right
me
does.
because I
Whether
don't
it's
need
black
you
tokens,
to affirm me.
whether it's
I
trans
do what I do
tokens,
because I'm
this is the
affirming
issue.
myself. I don't need someone else to affirm the life
How do
that I
you,
live.
how
That's
do
what
you
Caitlyn
affirm
says to me.
yourself? How do you talk about as far as the trans issue, as far as men going to the women's bathroom, while befriending someone who is literally part of that problem?
I can be
let me ask you, Riley,
cordial
are
with
kids
someone
born trans?
and still
Are kids
acknowledge
born
a
trans,
problem.
Riley?
That is a foreign concept to
Riley,
you
are
and
kids
Brian.
born trans?
Clearly, not me.
Riley,
not
are
me. Not
kids
Charlie
born
either,
trans?
by the way.
Are
Not Charlie
kids
either.
born trans, Riley?
Can I just say,
kids born trans?
can I just have 20 seconds? Can I just have 20 seconds just to say one quick thing?
You've had
As
the
long
whole
as it's
show,
okay, I
Brian,
appreciate
and
it.
Lucas.
As long as it's 20
Y'all talked the
seconds.
entire time.
Okay, excuse me.
Apologies.
Excuse me. I care about I care about women. Riley, I'm willing to believe that your heart is in the right place. Okay? I also can I just finish my 20-second statement?
You talk about misogyny.
Okay.
You are the most condescending,
with women.
mansplaining individual.
Oh, she used the leftist term, mansplaining. Fam, there you go. That validates my lie from yesterday when I said MAGA or leftist. She just used the leftist term, mansplaining. Jesus. Okay, when all else fails, women like this will turn back into a feminist just like that. That's crazy. Wasn't that not fun? We got a lot of yelling. We got a 3-on-3. Well, 3-on-2. Liberals versus conservatives. The conservative chicks got mad they weren't allowed to talk, even though they got ample time to talk. Well, let's help you too. This is the art of the debate. This is how debates are. There's no structured debates. Piers knows what he's doing. He loves it when his panels go off the rails. Hell, he had Cornel West walk out the other day. He know he could clip it and it'll go viral. This is how he sells it. Hell, I would have put up this screenshot right here. That'll sell it.
I'm condescending, and you support the guy who bragged about grabbing women by the genitals.
Okay, you know what? We're ending this debate by talking about the importance of trying to all come together and have some unity and public discourse back to how it should be, and we've ended up as a squabbling barnyard. I'm going to leave it there. I thank you all for your contributions. Thank you very much.
And then, you know, damn, that's crazy. They put look how they did Mark Lamont Schill. Look at how they did this man. Come on, bruh. Why they got you showing your teeth like that, sir? All right, really quick. Let's see what X was talking about with this. I want to see what they talking about. Let's see. Amazing Lucas. That looked like Trump about to cheat again. Why he smiling so hard? He's like, you want to be my fourth wife? The Amazing Lucas, a PlayStation fanboy I used to cover, just correlated adoption to slavery live on Piers Morgan. That's not what he said. Oh, damn. That's not even what he said. I can't, man. Yes, the Amazing Lucas on Piers Morgan Uncensored is as much of a car crash as you expect it to be. And y'all watched it like we did. Abhorrent, despicable, and evil. Actually, Piers Morgan blasted YouTuber The Amazing Lucas for posting memes mocking Charlie Kirk and his Greenman family. Debate recap. Oh, he using his full name now? Get some. The Amazing Lucas. See, all the right wingers that used to be over there, now they're like, oh shit, that's why he grifted. You know the scene in Back to the Future where Doc shows Marty the two timelines diverging? That's how I'm feeling right now, because why is the Amazing Lucas on Piers Morgan shows? Again, I'm going to say, Amazing Lucas might have some trouble with Jubilee. They might sue him for this. And it must have worked because a whole bunch of people showed up in his chat yesterday and watched his 4-hour stream going over the debate. That's crazy. Anybody else? Who else? Let me see. Let's look up Riley Gaines. Maybe she's trashing Lucas. Jillian Michaels, at a moment where both sides should be reining in their own and cooling the temperature, Riley Gaines and I went on Piers Uncensored, expecting a conversation. What we got instead was 45 minutes of ad hominem attacks from two unhinged men. Unhinged. To Piers Morgan's credit, he stood up for us. But after this and the endless smear campaigns from outlets like CNN, I can't help but wonder if any of this is even worth it. Now you know damn well the second they send you that email again to come on, you gonna get your hair did and your makeup done. Stop telling this lie. What? When I look back at the leaders we once admired, their North Star was unity. I thought it was Hakto no Ken. Okay. These people have Charlie Kirk's blood on their hands. Oh, okay. Okay. For a nonpartisan guy, you sure let Republicans talk longer without interruptions. Laugh out loud. I'm on nobody's side. It's like the biggest lie ever retold in Piers Morgan's Uncensored history. What the hell is this? Oh. Yeah, that is true. You gave Megyn Kelly like 10, 15 minutes. Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, this is from last year. I was about to say, Tatum Tots went back again. From the latest episode regarding the black narcissism on display in a heated discussion between Piers Morgan. What the hell is that? What is that? Blossom C. Brown. Oh, Lord. I'm not going to review that. Nope. All right. They're not really saying nothing. Okay. Anyway, Jeremy, let me help you. Violence comes from both sides. Now what? Let's talk about ending the violence. Let's talk about ending the government's coffers that like to profit off of violence. Let's talk about that. Can we talk about that? Let's talk about the fact that the White House is watching this right now and instructing Congress to come out with a crime bill that's going to screw everybody up. Let's talk about that. By the way, how much you want to bet in this clip, right? This debate that they did. How much you want to bet Riley Gaines didn't say a damn word to Blair White? She wasn't acting tough. Okay, Jeremy, see, this is what I mean. I'm going to say it again. Both sides do violence. Who cares in what number or what frequency? Let's get together and stop the violence. Oh, so people in prison now live by an ideology now. That's where we went. Okay. All right. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I'm sitting here saying, fuck all y'all's ideology, fuck your political party. Let's sit down and talk about stopping this violence. Let's go after this government that is basically monetizing violence. Let's come up with a solution. You still want to set bang. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's do a stream about that next week. Next Tuesday. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We will do that next Tuesday. How do we stop the violence? We may even do a panel. I want to hear solutions. We're going to do that. Yeah, Jeremy, you're right. There's no set to bang. Yeah, why are they going to Chicago then? I noticed they're not going to the South Side yet, and I noticed that. Huh. I noticed they ain't go to the West Side yet. Huh. They out there staying out there in the suburbs. But okay. You got the Democrats and Republicans set tripping on each other, and I'm saying let's stop the violence so they can't do nothing, and so this crime bill don't come out. And y'all giving, you telling me 80% liberals doing it. Damn. I figure. Sir, Jeremy, you're gonna tell me they're not in Chicago? Is that what you're gonna tell me? You're gonna tell me? Oh, okay. Okay. There's no National Guard in Chicagoland right now. That's what you're telling me. Operation Midway Blitz is not going on right now, right? That's what you're telling me. Okay. Okay. He's right. They're not doing anything in Chicagoland. Not nothing. They about to get sued by somebody for knocking them down over there in California. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They're not in Chicago right now. You're right. Yeah. Okay. I forgot. He's gonna tell me it's the suburbs of Chicago. It's not exactly Chicago. Okay. Okay. Anyway, y'all, I gotta head to work, start getting ready. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. I'll see you when I see you. The National Guard's not in Chicago with ICE? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But, okay. I'm not mad at you, Mentgasm, but I know I saw pictures of National Guard walking around Chicago. But, again, I'm not mad at you. I'll see you when I see you. Again, thank y'all for running up that live last night. We had 150,000 right now. That was crazy. I ain't think so many people gave a damn about Jimmy Kimmel like that. And we are on watch right now because I remember how I said last night, I think that man's going to get fired tomorrow. They usually fire somebody like that over the weekend, so they'll get free publicity for the weekend because we all know the weekend is slow news. But yeah, these have been a fun 2 days. So hopefully y'all are productive today. Go out there and make that money. Don't make it make you. All my Players Club fans. And yeah, we're going to be out. So y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.